Alright, let's start with the obvious. It's impossible to watch this story about Jeff Ulbrich's loss without feeling gutted. But beyond the immediate sadness, what's really striking to me is how moments like these force us to confront the humanity behind the sports we love. I mean, think about it. Here's a guy whose job is to strategize, lead, and perform under pressure, yet none of that matters when life throws a curveball like this. And that's the paradox of sports, right? We idolize athletes and coaches as larger-than-life figures, but tragedies like this, they rip the curtain down. Suddenly, they are just people. People dealing with the same pain we all do. So why does that feel so jarring to us? Maybe because we've been conditioned to see sports as entertainment first, human stories second. But let's unpack this deeper. First off, the Falcons statement. On paper, it's a standard PR move: sympathy, privacy, thoughts and prayers. But here's what caught my eye: the emphasis on Cristina being a constant source of love and support. Why highlight that? Because it subtly reframes the narrative. It's not just about Jeff the coach, it's about Jeff the husband, the father. And that's huge. Teams used to keep personal tragedies at arm's length, treating them as distractions. Now, they are weaving them into the fabric of the organization's identity. What does that say about the evolution of sports culture? To me, it's a sign that empathy is finally creeping into locker rooms and front offices, though we are nowhere near where we should be. Then there's the question of visibility. Jeff Ulbrich isn't hiding. He's stepping away from training camp, prioritizing his family, and the team is letting him. Contrast that with, say, 20 years ago, when coaches would have been expected to tough it out or risk being labeled weak. This feels like part of a broader shift. Athletes and staff are rejecting the grind at all costs mentality. But here's the thing: this kind of vulnerability isn't just about individual healing. It's a masterclass in leadership. When someone in charge says, "This matters more than football," it gives everyone else permission to value their humanity over their job. And honestly, that's the kind of lesson we need more of in sports, and in life. Now, let's get personal for a second. I've always believed that grief is the ultimate equalizer. Whether you're a multimillionaire coach, or a fan in the stands, loss hits you the same way. But what separates Ulbrich's experience is the spotlight. Imagine mourning while millions of strangers dissect your every move. That's the paradox of fame: you're seen, but rarely truly seen. And yet, this moment might actually change how fans perceive their teams. If we start viewing these organizations as communities rather than corporations, could that reshape how we engage with sports? Maybe we'd stop seeing players as disposable assets and start seeing them as people with lives beyond the field. But I'm not naive. This is still an industry built on profit. The real test is whether this moment of empathy translates into systemic change, like better mental health support or flexible grieving policies. Finally, let's zoom out. This isn't just a story about one family's tragedy, it's a microcosm of a cultural reckoning. We are in an era where people are demanding authenticity, not just in sports, but in every corner of society. And when a powerhouse like the Falcons pauses to acknowledge a spouse's death with grace, it sends a ripple effect. It says, vulnerability isn't weakness. Grief isn't a distraction. And maybe, just maybe, the games we love can coexist with the messy, beautiful reality of being human. So here's my challenge to you: next time you watch a game, remember that every player, coach, and staffer is carrying a story you know nothing about. And who knows? That awareness might just make us better fans, and better humans.